Hi, my name is Alex Taylor. Today I am going to show you my Capstone project, Workforce Services. This is an easy solution for employers and employees to be able to keep track of things like schedules, paychecks, payroll, things of that nature. So this is a full stack application. It's going to use languages and technologies like Python, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Django REST Framework, React, and MySQL database. This is a project that took a sprint of about a month and a half from start to finish. A little bit of background on me. So my experience, my professional experience comes in the finance industry, primarily, specifically as a financial advisor. So I did that for a number of years. Over time, I realized it wasn't something I was truly passionate about. Over time, I was able to get connected with a number of software engineers. So I got a decent understanding of one, what is software engineering? What is coding? What is programming? What is it? But also a good idea of what sort of skills are they developing or had developed in their time. What sort of projects they're working on, what a day in their life looks like, just a overall understanding of what a software engineer does. Sounded like something I wanted to learn more about, could be potentially interested in. So I took it upon myself to learn the basics of Python. In doing that, I found it was something I really liked to do. I developed an actual passion for it, really enjoyed coding, creating different things, which made me want to take things more seriously. Found devCodeCamp, took their course, and that's kind of where we are now. So to kind of piggyback off of that, that's where some of this inspiration for this project came from. So I have been an employer, I've been an employee during my professional life. So I understand from both sides of things, there can be times where there's miscommunication or confusion for whatever reason on both sides of things when it comes to scheduling and time off and pay and things like that. So we're going to try to take that, some of the problems out of that and make it a little bit easier for everybody with this application. So when we open it up, the first thing we'll see is the login page. Just for sake of time, I have registered already some employees and employers, but if we needed to, we would click here, put in some information, and then register pretty easily. But like I said, for sake of time, let's log in as an employer. As an employer, we'll get a greeting. We'll see the name of our company and the amount of employees that we have, and then some buttons that I'll walk you through. So first things first, as an employer, we need to know who's working for us. Search employee, and we will be able to see just that. All of our employees, all of their information. We'll have an edit and delete button. So for any reason, for whatever reason, if there's someone's no longer with us as an employee, we'll be able to click a button, and through an Axios delete request, we will be able to then take that employee out of our system. Very similarly, with an Axios put request, we can edit some of the information. So if we wanted to edit a job title or a pay rate, let's say, let's give Jack Tripper here, let's give him a raise. He's at $35 an hour. And we change it to 36 very easily. This employer has 4 employees. Let's say he had 400. I don't want to scroll through hundreds of employees. Let's just go search Wood, and we'll get Janet Wood back, making it very easy for employers to find employees. Schedule. We have to be able to schedule our employees. Again, for sake of time, I have added a number of shifts to look at. So let's look at them. We click view schedule. We're going to see the schedule for the current week we are on. So today is April 7th. So we're going to see the schedule for the current week. And then similarly to what we did for employees, we can delete a shift if we wanted to take our employee off of it, or we could change the time, things like that. Up at the top, we're going to be able to toggle. We're going to toggle through our schedule so we can look at last week's schedule for Jack, look at next week's schedule for Jack, right? Paycheck. We have to be able to issue a paycheck for our employees. So when we do that, it's going to take information from a couple spots. We're going to take information from the employee itself, pay rate, overtime, employee ID, but we're also going to take hours, base pay hours, overtime hours, sick, vacation time. We're going to take that based off the information from last week from the cutoff date, right? So he worked a total of 42.69 hours, which is gotten from the punch-in times. So I'll show you that in a second, but employees are going to punch in and out for their shifts. And based on when they punch in and out, that's going to calculate the amount of hours. Anything over 40 hours is automatically going to be put into overtime hours because they're going to get paid differently. Right? And we issue the paycheck down here, which I've already done, and I'll show you in a second what it looks like. But time off, as an employer, we're going to have employees requesting time off. We're going to have to be able to approve, deny. As you can see, we have the status here. Here's a deny. But the other thing too is, so for this one here, he requested the 9th off, 9th of June. If we were to approve that, right, he's going to take 8 vacation hours. He's going to approve that. Let's say, okay, you can take that day off. But the other thing we want to do is we want to have his benefits. We want to have his available vacation time reflective of that new time off. So we're going to go to edit PTO time. That vacation time is now going to be automatically that 32. It takes the vacation time subtracted by the requested vacation time to give us the new vacation time. So let's update his benefits to include that. Right. And then the last thing as an employer you're going to want to do is if I'm an employer and I'm hiring someone, what I would do is I would say, okay, you go to this application, register as we saw a few minutes ago with some of your information. Once the employee does that, they go into a pool of unassigned users because we haven't assigned him an employer yet. So the employer would click that, see a list of all of the employees without employers and say, oh, there's John. That's who I'm hiring. Let's add him, put in some information, his job title, his pay rate, things like that. And then we would just add that employee. Very easily. Let's now take a view, because that's pretty much a good gist of the employer side of things. For the employee side of things, very similar view. We got name, job title, and company you're working for. We click on the profile button. Just gives us our basic information. Clock. So this is going to be important, right? Because this is how we're getting paid. So we got to be able to clock in and clock out, go to lunch, all that good stuff. You can see a active clock with the date and then the clock ticking here as the time moves forward. We go to clock in. It have our shift ID, it have our employee ID already put in there, and it has the clock running. I want you to notice something here though. So it says 16:19 for the clock in. Let's go ahead and clock in. And if we were to go try clock out, clock in time says 14:35. I actually already clocked in for today as Jack. So we can't clock in twice, right? So that's good. The other thing I'd like to point out is these input boxes, they cannot be edited. I can't go in and change the shift. I can't go in and change the time I clocked in for obvious reasons. So that's a nice little feature there too. Schedule, we won't spend really any time on. It's the same exact thing as the employer view minus the buttons because they're not going to have access to do that with the permission class anyway. And then it would just have a reflective if you were to take any time off, right? If you use sick hours, it would say that there. Speaking of time off, we click here, we see the available time off that we have. We could go request some time off. Let's say, let's request a sick day for tomorrow. We're not feeling very good. We'll request a sick day if we were on the calendar. Submit that request. We go back to view our PTO request. We can see all of the paid time off requests that we have put in. And then the status. We have some approved. This one's denied. And these two haven't been approved or denied by our employer yet. Last but not least is the pay. So we click here. We're going to see our paycheck history, our employer, our name, and then all of the paychecks that have been issued to us. Let's go and view the most recent one. So this is the one we saw a few minutes ago with the 42.69 hours, something like that. So as you can see, I've issued it already. And then we're just doing some math, right? Multiplying hours by rate to get our total. We have the taxes. Taxes are set at 20% right now. Just a random number we picked. That could be changed though. And then we take our total, our gross pay minus taxes to get our take-home pay. Quick and easy. So that's pretty much the gist of the entire application there. Just a couple ideas really quick. I had to improve it. So as you saw with the pay, you have an entire list of the paycheck history, right? Any paycheck that's been issued, you have access to it. Right now for schedule, you can see current, last week, and next week. So it'd be very easy to just Axios GET requests, get all of the schedules that have been issued right now or issued so far by our employer. So we could do that pretty easily. The other thing I thought of doing is giving employees benefits. So giving them the option to opt into a retirement, a 401k plan, for example, or opt into disability insurance, things like that. And then we'd just be able to reflect, say they were putting in 3% to their 401k, we would take 3% out of their paycheck and put that on the paycheck as well. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Have a good one.